Hey, what's happening, Nation? It's Joe Q. I am finally live again. The rumors are swirling in Raider Nation. I wanted to jump in and take a look at them, but most of all, I wanted to just kind of check in with all you guys. I've not been live in a good minute, and I just want to see how everybody's feeling. I know the Raider Nation is extremely divided right now, and that completely sucks, but I do think that there's still a lot of very positive things on this team right now that we can kind of continue to work off of. I do not think we need a full rebuild. What do you guys said? Anti, what's going on, dude? Said, like, not a rebuild, just a retool, and I completely agree with that. But some of the other rumors that have been swirling around is Carr not starting against Cleveland. I'm really curious to see what happens with that. Waller holding out. He's not actually injured anymore. He's just waiting to get that money. That one I'm not putting too much stock into just yet. Jackson coming in, telling the team that they suck, for as much as I support it. At the same time, it's just more dysfunction among this team. And then this Cleveland game being up in the air completely as to if we're actually going to be able to play it, if they're going to move it, or if the Browns are just going to have to forfeit. I will tell you right now, the NFLPA signed off on an agreement saying that if a team has a COVID outbreak and they cannot play, they are forced to forfeit the game. If they are going to bend those rules and start to change that shit right now, as much as I would rather us just get the win, I just don't want to see it happen because it sets the precedent moving forward that they'll just change the rules whenever they need to. That shit really pissed me off. I'm going to try not to jump into that one too much just because I know I'll end up going off on a rant on it. So I just want to jump into these, get your guys' opinions on it. If you're new to the channel, think about subscribing. I really do appreciate that. But we're not going to waste any time. We're going to go ahead and jump into the first one. I'm going to run through these real quick, and then I'm going to start hitting your guys' comment section up. Carr not starting, I don't care. At this point, this offense needs a spark. You guys know how much I love Derek Carr and how much I support that kid. And some of these games have been blatantly his fault, and some of these other games have just been the O-line and the rest of the damn team, offensively and defensively, just not showing up to play along. Either way, it's not working. Something is terribly wrong right now. This team is at an all-time low. Our coaches are button heads, which is a good sign that there is no leadership as far as that front office goes, because there's nobody to step up and say, I don't care what your opinion is, we're going to do it this way. That's the shit that we lost when we lost Gruden. And then as far as Carr goes, Carr will not get pissed off. And I've been thinking about this and going back and forth and trying, because he's a damn good quarterback. Nobody can argue that. That dude is not elite, but he is a good quarterback in the NFL. He's within the top 15 every single year. But the main thing that he does not do, that I've been watching on, that dude does not get pissed off. And you have to be able to get pissed off if you are a leader. Whether you offend people or not, at some point you have to say fuck it. You have to turn to the rest of your team, turn to the rest of your players and say, this is the way it's going to be. If you don't like it, get the hell out. He does not have that in him. He does not have it in him in the middle of a game to grab somebody's face mask and tell them they're doing the wrong damn thing, or to make that block next time so I don't get fucking crushed. He does not do that. It pisses me off, but that is his major flaw. I've been looking around trying to figure out like what exactly it is, and that's it, man. And I'm telling you, it's not his heart, because that kid wants to win. It's just a matter of that leadership skill. Some people have it, some people don't. But if you're playing at the NFL level, you have to have that shit. We'll move into Waller next, just as far as him holding out possibly. They said as soon as he got hurt, that injury could be anything from a couple days to a few weeks. I really think it's just lingering. I think he would want to come back as fast as possible, just because this team does technically still have a shot. But there's honestly, you could see it, dude. Some of these players are speaking out. There are people that are on this team that are not happy right now. And these dudes are not going to jeopardize their health and getting hurt in a game if they know they're going to go out there and lose, or if you know you're going to go out there and just get completely beat down. So I don't know. I want to keep a really close eye on that one, but I really feel like Waller is loyal to this team. We gave him his shot. We gave him a decent payday last season, and I really think that that kid wants to be on this team. I know people have talked about him and Waller, and him saying, or Waller coming out and saying that he doesn't want to play next year if Carr's going to be on this team. I never saw that shit, and I have looked for that countless times. I saw it one time on a Facebook post, and that is about as much stock as I'm putting behind that. So if you guys have seen that article, let me know. Next one was Jackson calling out his team. Dude, I will tell you right now, having our rookie linebacker come out and do it, and I was like, oh, damn, Diablo, look at you go. Having Jackson come in there and do it, it's just more people. It's just showing the frustration that this team has right now. And it sucks to see, man, because you don't want to see that in your locker room. But when you see it twice in the same damn week building up to a game that you potentially have to be able to win, I don't know. It kills the whole freaking momentum of the team. It divides that locker room, and we've all seen it countless times. It doesn't matter if it's the Raiders or anybody else in the NFL. Once your locker room becomes divided, your season's over. It's completely done at that point, and you have no choice but to go ahead and flip everything and get out the people that don't agree with what's going on and bring in the people that you want to keep moving forward with. And you lose a lot of damn good players when you start doing that. So I am hoping that does not happen through this offseason. And then this Browns game, man, we'll just have to see what happens. As far as them having, like, dude, they've lost so many damn people. I think it's up to like 16 or 7. I'm looking at their depth chart right now. It is unreal. But they're still going to have Nick Chubb. They're still going to have Nick Mullen. I'm confident that any quarterback against our defense can go out there and have a hell of a game just because we've seen it so many times. They're missing Austin Hooper, but Njoku's the better tight end on that team. And I guarantee you, if they have a quarterback and they have a tight end, regardless of what their names are, they're going to end up scoring a fucking touchdown on this defense. They're missing 2 offensive linemen, and they're missing a shit ton of people across that defense. Plus, they're missing some of their coaching staff. If the game does end up getting canceled, I think it should be a forfeit. If they do end up kind of pushing this through or maybe moving it back to Sunday to give everybody that one extra day, I will take it. But we'll just have to see how that one plays out. And now for the heart of it, dude, the thing I've been waiting for. I just want to get all that shit out real fast. We're jumping into your guys' comment sections. I really want to hear what you guys are thinking. I really want to see how you're feeling. So hit me up and let you know. Pizza, what's going on, dude? How do you leave the Raiders at the end of the season? Man, I don't know. I think this offseason is going to be insane. I really think it's going to be shuffled around more than it has to be, and it's going to end up hurting this team more than it helps this team. I'm really curious to see if Carr ends up staying. I saw that Scout put something out on Twitter earlier talking about potential coaching candidates and that the Colts defensive coordinator, I'm sorry I forgot his name, but it's like at the top of our list. That would piss me off because there are some much better names on that list than without him. Numbers, what's happening, man? It's good to see you. I see us going to the playoffs. I don't see Carr going out, losing, and getting traded or retiring. I don't see Carr retiring. Carr is about to enter into his actual prime. If that dude, I want to see Carr stay, but at the same time, I want to see Carr get a different chance on another team that's not a complete clusterfuck so he can have a chance to actually do something. Eric, how are you doing, dude? I wish Derek Carr had some Rich Gannon in him, but it's just too soft, and I think that dude, you're 100% right. Zeph, what's good, man? I'm glad you can make it to the show. Not the same. How are you doing, dude? He sucks and taking responsibility and responding to those mistakes. I'll give you that, dude. I will tell you. If you go out every time and say, and he does it every damn time, he will come into those press conferences, and it's one of the reasons I don't watch press conferences. I only catch them because they always say the same shit over and over again. But that is his thing. Put it all on me. It is my fault. I take full responsibility for it. Dude, that was cool. Like the first few seasons when you were coming into the league, you were the rookie quarterback. You are the veteran quarterback on this team. There are people making blatant freaking mistakes on every single play. You should get into that press conference and be like these other quarterbacks. No, we didn't play good today. No, we totally sucked. No, but the offensive line shit the bed and I got crushed the entire game. Speak your mind, dude. I guarantee you it'll get people around you to step up. So Njoku, remember Waller is 30. That is true. I thought he was in the league for a minute before he actually made an impact on any team. I love Carr, but he's not it. We need a new QB. A new QB, man, you're talking about a total fresh restart at that point. You bring in a new head coach. He brings in a new offensive coordinator. You bring in a new quarterback. You're talking 2 to 3 years of rebuild, unless you really strike gold on your quarterback. But I will tell you right now, and I was watching Honcho earlier, and he said the same damn thing. If you put any quarterback in the league right now behind this broken-ass offensive line, they're going to get crushed. The only difference is they're going to get pissed off, and they're going to speak about it, where Carr will just kind of bite the bullet and swallow his pride. I'm proud of Divine Diablo. I am too, dude. I really am. Arno, how are you doing, man? We need this Browns game for confidence, even if I think the season is pretty over. I would take that, dude. I would honestly take this game as a forfeit just to get that win, just moving forward, so we only had 3 teams to get through. I don't think there's any chance in hell this team can go 4-0 over these last 4 games, but 3-0 with a possible forfeit, I'll take it, man. If we only took Barrymore, shit, dude, I'll give you that. I was talking about him all through the offseason, but I think our defensive tackles, like we've had some injuries there, but Hankins has had a pretty damn good season. Jefferson stepped up in a major way. Solomon Thomas is not being used enough at all. That kind of pisses me off. But I mean, if he's not being used, then something's not happening during practice. And if he's one of these dudes that is just kind of showing up and collecting his paycheck because he's a veteran dude who wasn't expecting to be on a team this season, that would completely piss me off if that comes out. Because all these players that weren't showing up and weren't doing their jobs during practice every single week, as soon as the offseason hits, we're going to know those names. And I am curious as hell to see whose names are shouted out through that. Elliot Wolf needs to be the new GM. Oh, man. I don't know. I don't think Mayock's going to stay. I really don't think he's going to. I want to see this thing reset from the top. And I know Davis's ass ain't selling this team, so it's going to start at that GM position. But honestly, we could use a new president and a new operations manager. Mark Davis's comments just show how bad we are run. We need a real GM and a coach. Yeah, dude, Mark Davis does not give a shit about football. That is pretty blatant. He's all about that off-field. And, I mean, he's an owner. He's an NFL owner. Some owners are, like, totally diehard into football like his dad was. Other NFL owners just kind of dial it in. They just have the money to own a team, and they keep trying to capitalize that and make more money off of it. If you're going to be one of those NFL owners, you make a hell of a lot more money if you're actually winning. So bring in some quality damn pieces and let's turn this shit around. Would you blame Carr if he wanted to leave? No, I would not blame him at all. Salvatore, how are you doing, man? Glenn, how are you? Moses, Carr should have stopped the meeting on the Chiefs logo. That was the lack of sportsmanship and classless. I completely agree with that. Plus, I mean, if you know what team's going to whip the shit out of you, why would you go out and stand on their logo? We had pretty much a 20% chance of winning that game. Going out and pissing that team off, and especially with how hot that team's been lately, it was just dumb. It was all around dumb. Somebody should have stopped that shit, but nobody had the balls to go out there and do it because one of our other captains was leading the team over to that logo. He has to demand respect from his peers. Callie, what's happening, dude? He doesn't, and it does not happen. Is it true about DeSean Jackson calling out his team and wanting out? I never saw the article. I saw Honcho's video on it earlier, so I looked it up. I could not find it. I found like excerpts from it, but I could not find like the actual thing where he came out and said it. If it's real or not real, I don't know. It's a wake-up call, if nothing else, dude. The play calling is terrible. Yeah, dude, Rain Man completely. Greg Olsen completely sucks. He sucked his entire time while he was with the Raiders and not with the Raiders. It's abysmal. Yes, Ed, it is abysmal completely. Michael, how are you doing, man? Rob, what's going on? Carr is our highest paid franchise guy. I think he's too volatile for that level. I don't think he's too volatile. I mean, if he was volatile, he'd be out there spouting off all the damn time. He's so damn inconsistent. And I will tell you, because if you watch it, when we lost Ruggs off this team, that is when this offense ended up completely going to shit. And it's because we lost that deep threat. And they were like, oh, dude, we'll fix it. We'll go out and get DeSean Jackson. DeSean Jackson, is for as fast as his ass is, he's old, dude. He is no longer an every down receiver to where you can put him on the field like you can do a dude like Bryan Edwards or a dude like Ruggs. You count on Jackson to be able to stretch the field. That is his one and only job. You're not sending him on little slant routes. You're not sending him on quick little out routes. He's going to end up getting hurt if you do. It just pisses me off, dude. Carr needs some Gruden bravado, leadership. Yes, he does. Oh, Gorilla, what's happening, dude? I'm glad you could make it out. Yeah, check his emails first. That shit still pisses me off, man. I want to see if the truth comes out about that. I really think the NFL is going to do everything in their power to completely bury that with anything they possibly can, especially through this offseason, because with nothing happening through the offseason, that's when stories really start to get dug into. If it happens for Gruden, I will be happy as hell, but I really think you're going to end up seeing this thing just get buried, like completely buried. Michael, I appreciate that, man. Tony, Carr has no weapons, and he hasn't. And I'll tell you right now, when he did have weapons, it was looking pretty damn good. When he had Ruggs out there, it was looking good. But Bryan Edwards is not it, dude, at all. When Waller is healthy, he is completely the guy. I've seen so many people talking about these rebuilds, and they're like, we need to do this. We need to trade off Carr. We need to trade off Waller. Dude, if you're going to rebuild this fucking offense, you don't start off by getting rid of a dude like Waller. You get rid of Jacobs. You get rid of a running back that can easily be replaced through the draft within the first 3 rounds. You bring in one of those kids and everything will be okay. That'll be a pretty smooth transition. As far as Kenyon Drake, I'd like to see us keep him around for 1 more year on his contract. Take that rookie, use him as your workhorse, use Kenyon Drake as that receiving back, get Jalen Richard off this team, and just kind of bring in another third down back. I don't think it'll happen, but if you bring in a whole new coaching system, you're going to see a hell of a lot of changes. We have the coaching staff that cannot adjust. Pop Warner, this line is pitiful. D went from worst to pathetic. Carr number 1. Carr's number 1 is Renfro, but yeah, it's all on Carr. Dude, Bill, I will tell you, dude. The fact that Renfro is our number 1 is the first major sign, and I've said this so many damn times I get sick of talking about it. This team has not had outside wide receivers in forever. Even Ruggs was a solid number 2. This team has not had a number 1 wide receiver since Crabtree was our number 1, and Carr made Crabtree what he was. That dude's career was pretty much over until he came to the Raiders, and him and Carr built that chemistry. You give Carr a true number 1 outside receiver, and now you have to replace Ruggs as your number 2, and you have a dude like Renfro playing your slot receiver, and then you have Waller at tight end. You have a halfway decent running back on that team and an offensive line that does not completely suck. and this offense would be fine, but we do not have that shit. We have nothing close to that. That is going to be like the offensive side of the ball, and the retooling that has to happen on that is the only reason that I say we keep Carr for another year, is because you're going to have to change so much shit on that offensive line that you're going to have to keep some kind of people, or like your main person, kind of intact, just so they can continue to carry that shit for at least through one more season. The people that want that to be Mariota would get hurt behind this offensive line. I know I said I wanted to see him start next week, but I'm curious to see if he can actually, like, if we were like, yeah, Mariota's the starter for the rest of the season, no matter what, and then you put him behind this offensive line, I don't think he makes it through these 4 games without being hurt. And it sucks to say that, but I just don't want to see it happen. I don't want to see him come out, try to get his opportunity to be a starter somewhere in the NFL next year, because the kid honestly deserves it, but then end up getting hurt and then losing his opportunity to do that next year because of our shit-ass offensive line. Been a fan for 20 plus years, and I'm sick of this shit. I'd hate to see the Raiders. I hate to see what the Raiders have become. Me too, man. I really do. It drives me insane. My God, the JJ rumor having 9 kids. Yeah, that cracked me up. As soon as I saw it, I knew it was bullshit, but it still made me laugh. He even made Aguilar look good. He did make Aguilar look good. If you have somebody that can stretch the field on a reliable basis, but somebody that can also run those intermediate routes, Carr will take advantage of that shit. But he does not have it. What he has right now is just Jacobs, who he force feeds the ball to, and Renfro, who's force feeding the ball to. He does not, I don't care what anybody says about Derek Carr. His ass does not trust Bryan Edwards to make that play for him. If he did, he'd be taking those one-on-one shots all the time. And as far as Jackson is concerned, he knows he's only the deep threat. So if he looks for that deep threat, it's not there right away. His 2.5 seconds are up. He has to whip that ball and drop it off to Josh Jacobs or throw it underneath. And then you see DeSean Jackson throwing his arms up all pissed off, and it's like, dude, do something else besides fucking running deep and maybe give us another aspect to this offense. But he can't physically do that anymore. So it's like, it's a lost cause, dude. We were all rooting for Carr when Gruden got released, hoping he was going to be freed and run this offense, and turns out we were wrong. We were completely wrong about that. That was my biggest hope for him, dude, was just for him to have Gruden's offense in his mind, but not be limited by Gruden, and he fucked that all up. There's no other way to say that. Any ideas for head coaching candidates? Dude, let me see. Let me just pull this up real quick, because I don't want to bash any of these names or anything. Scout put this out earlier, and it was, let's see. Some names expected to be running include Colts defensive coordinator Matt Eberflus, Bills offensive coordinator Bill Dabble, Bucks offensive coordinator Byron Leftwich. A lot of you guys have been talking about him. Cowboys OC Kellen Moore. I do not want to see Kellen Moore anywhere near this fucking team at all. Eagles halfback coach Deuce Staley. I do like Deuce Staley. I don't know if he's ready to take that head coaching spot over. Offensive coordinator Anthony Lynn, I do not like that. And Jags interim head coach Darrell Bevel, I do not want Bevel anywhere near this team at all. So I don't know, man. I just really want to see what the Raiders end up pulling off. If we do end up going with that Colts offensive coordinator or defensive coordinator, that pretty much signs the paperwork for Gus Bradley to be off this team. And I really would like to see Gus Bradley stick around, even though his defense completely pissed me off. I just think if he had a few more pieces on this defense, I think it would be looking a hell of a lot better. But we'll just have to see how it works out. Watts, what's going on, dude? Thank you for coming out. O-line is trash. Can't run the ball, but Carr gets all the blame. No, dude, you can't run the ball. But at the same time, who was it? Perryman has been our only running back to go over 100 yards. He did that early in the season when this offensive line completely sucked. A lot of the problems that we're having with this running game right now, I'm putting solely onto Josh Jacobs' ass. Because I saw even Regas when he came out. He only had 1 carry last game, but it was for 9 yards. So I mean, there's holes that are open. He's just not hitting them right now. And it kind of pisses me off because I don't want to see us overpay him to stick around on this team next season because I know he can be replaced. Get Josh Jacobs out of here. Bring in somebody fresh. Honestly, dude, our center's been looking damn good. Miller's been looking awesome. Like, dude's one of the solid pieces, but we'll have Good back next season, so that'll take care of one of those guard spots. And then, honestly, you could have Simpson and our rookie just kind of float that other guard spot, but I'd rather see us bring in a veteran dude and kind of have them play behind Good and the new vet guy. But that right tackle position is something that has to be addressed, or we're completely screwed no matter what. We're not practicing the win, man. We have to be doing better than that. Watts, I completely agree with that. And you could tell that's one of the major things that these players have been talking about is people not showing up at practice and being willing to put in the work throughout the week. I saw you comment in a video. I forgot who I was watching. But you said you still thought there is a ton of talent on this team. I completely agree with you on that. But I will have to say this talent has to be able to come together and be that new core and push all these other dipshits out of the building. Because if you keep a mixture of people that are just showing up and people that are really trying to play, it's going to cause nothing but drama and just keep tearing this shit apart, man. Nathaniel Hackett, dude, I do like that name. Eric Bieniemy, I'm curious to see. I don't think he would happen. I like Jared Mayo, defensive back coach from New England. I do too, but if that team ends up doing damn good, I will tell you, Belichick likes to keep his coaching staffs together. This organization needs to clean house as soon as possible. I completely agree. All I want for Christmas is the Raiders to finish the season strong with some W's. If we can get out of here with 9 wins, I'd be happy. I'm not even going to lie. It's not going to get us into the playoffs, but if we can end up getting a few more victories, kind of moving into next season, and I want to see it. I want to see us get those wins with the youth that we have on this team. Take these older dudes that are not showing up and have not been playing too good for us, stick their ass on the bench. Go ahead and put these young kids in there, see what they have. If we end up winning a few games with these young kids, then next season, cut these vets off the back end of this, save some of that damn money, keep bringing in some newer kids. But our coaching staff's going to change, and that's what fucks everything up, dude, because everybody's going to be learning a whole new system. Chris, what's going on, dude? I'm glad you could make it to the show. Michael, thank you, dude. Jacobs has gone downhill, man. I completely agree with that. Like, I do. And it sucks to say that because he was one of my favorite players on this team. And I know he was a lot of your guys' favorites. But it's just from season to season, you get injuries, you get knocked up, you end up losing that little bit of a step, you start missing your holes. And he's going to end up going someplace else. So, I mean, I'm not worried about, like, his career being over. Somebody's going to sign his ass immediately. Somebody, who was it? Miami signed Damon Arnett. You think Damon Arnett can land a job, but a dude like Josh Jacobs isn't going to? Lost your damn mind. Jacobs going to get snatched up in a second. Why didn't you like Moore? He's got that number 1 option. I'm not sure how you feel about Bradley, though. Anyway, we need a new offensive coordinator anyways and get Everly. See, I don't know. I don't like Moore. I just don't like what he brings to the table. It's just my own personal opinion on it. I just don't like the style that he runs. As far as if you bring in a new head coach who's like offensive minded, he brings in a new offensive coordinator, I think Gus Bradley stays. You bring in a defensive minded coach, Gus Bradley's gone. And I don't know. I mean, I'll take it either damn way because I just want to see some damn things get changed on this team, dude. The Raiders better overhaul this pathetic offensive line. That's the main thing that has to happen. We can keep 2 people and maybe a little bit of depth on this offensive line. Everybody else has to get off this damn offensive line. But I'm telling you, like, losing good right at the start of the season sucked. This team would have looked dramatically different if we would have had him throughout the entirety of this year. Him coming back is going to be a major step forward for us. Mariota start on Saturday. No, in my personal opinion, no. I don't think he's going to. But if we're losing at halftime, it is damn time that the Raiders pull the trigger and bring him into the game and see what he has. At this point, you have nothing to lose. If we play Cleveland, they run the ball down our throat, it's halftime and you're down by 17. If it's 17 points or more, you pull Derek Carr, you put Mariota in, and you ride that shit for the rest of the year. That would be 7 games that we've lost since our bye week. Dude, that's insane. No quarterback lives through that. I don't give a shit who it is. Max Crosby is not that good, folks. Give it up. He is above average. Dude, the penalties that kid has drives me insane. He is definitely well above average, and I do think he is that damn good. But I also think that he's going to probably want a decent amount of money through this offseason. I'm really hoping the fact that his stat line's not going to be crazy high as far as, like, I know his pressures are going to be like one of the highest in the NFL, but if you're not hitting the quarterback, what the fuck difference does a pressure make besides getting the ball out a little bit faster? But if you're allowed to be held, that shit's not going to matter. I don't want to see him ask for a huge payday. I think if he takes not even a team-friendly deal, but just kind of like a league average deal, we could keep him around for a minute, and I would love to see that happen. I do not want to see us lose Crosby or Yannick. I think that duo working together for a second year in a row would be absolutely unreal, especially if you brought in some defensive tackle, like real defensive tackle help. Like if we, by some miracle, landed that kid out of Georgia and stuck his ass right in the middle, you'd see those two going off on a regular basis. We have been bad in the red zone with Gruden. We've been bad since Gruden got here. Yeah, dude, we have sucked in the red zone. We've sucked in the red zone before Gruden, dude. But the last team, Del Rio was pretty good in the red zone. Like that, one of his few wins. Nobody hasn't even clinched the playoffs in the AFC yet. That's crazy. Dude, that's like very, very crazy. But it just shows you how close and how stacked this shit is. But it also shows you like how hard these teams are fighting for it. And if the Raiders aren't even showing up at practice, there is zero chance they knock off one of these 4 AFC teams that are bidding for that wild card spot. Jacobs doesn't want to be a Raider anymore. It shows. Polo, as much as I hate to say it, I talked about that a couple days ago. The kid just doesn't seem happy right now. Gus is gone down. Possibly, dude. Gruden is in charge of everything. And when he went, so did the leadership. Dude, that's what happens when you give your offense, or when you give your head coach way too much damn power. But he was an egomaniac, so I agree with you, dude. Oh, Bo George, what's happening, dude? I'm glad you can make it out. Al, how are you doing? If Carr had 1A and B wide receivers, a decent guard, a right tackle, a solid defensive tackle, it's 2016 all over again. I completely agree with that. But replacing those things, especially like late in the season, there's no chance you can replace that. Through the offseason, you possibly can. If you get a couple veteran dudes on that offensive line, we still got some youth we can keep on this team behind them that would not really cost us a damn dime moving them to next season. But finding that number, like a true number one, like a true fucking number one wide receiver. And everybody's talking about Adams coming on this team. Adams is only going to come if Derek Carr stays on this team. Fine, so be it. But your ass better go out there and get a number 2. And if you don't have an offensive line, it's not going to matter if Adams is on this team or not, because he's never going to see the damn ball. It's going to be another Edwards show to where he just doesn't have the time to get the ball out there, even though he has more time than the average quarterback in the NFL. The Chargers passed us. Yes, Chargers passed us a minute ago. Gus Bradley doesn't run man defense. He's not aggressive enough. That's his problem. And he doesn't blitz enough. You have to be able to blitz in the NFL. You have to be able to get to some of these quarterbacks. He relies on that 4-man front to get the job done on a weekly basis. He runs like 3 to 4 true blitzes a game. And the shit part is they work when he runs them, but then he just gets back away from it. It drives me insane. Offense ain't great either. No, they are not. I'd rather give Renfro an extension than Crosby at this point. If we don't extend Renfro or keep Renfro's ass on this team, that'll be a terrible, terrible mistake. Anthony, how are you doing, man? I'm glad you make it out. Shawab, what's good, dude? It's been a minute, dude. Glad I can catch one of your lives. It's my first one in like a month and a half. I'm glad you came out. Hernandez, how are you doing? I never understood why Del Rio got hate after his season with the Raiders, because that shit got real political and like in the locker room and some of the shit that he set off, and as soon as he lost that team, that shit was done. Plus, I guarantee you Mark Davis had already worked some shit out with Gruden. You could tell by the end of that season, I forgot what game that was, he was completely pissed off. Mark Davis was up in the stands. Gruden ended up making some bullshit call, and then, or not Gruden, I'm sorry, Del Rio made some bullshit call, and you saw he threw his hands up, he was pissed off, and then it was after that game, he went in, found him, and was like, all right, your ass is out of here. We need a John Madden. Yeah, that would be a miracle in itself. Crosby and Yannick, first down. I'm cool with either. Oh, neither can play the run. See, that's a big part of it, Black. I completely agree with you there. And that's been one of Mad Max's biggest things. But Yannick was never known for being able to play the run. And if you're going to run that 4-man front and you have like 2 legitimate nothing but pass rush edge rushers, you have to have 2 solid-ass defensive tackles. If you don't, you're shit on, dude. Jared, I appreciate you, dude. Thoughts on Byron Leftwich and drafting Dean linebacker from Georgia or Davis defensive tackle from Georgia? I would love Davis, dude, in a heartbeat. Leftwich he'd probably be in my top 3 or 4 coaching candidates, but I don't think the Raiders are going to end up going his way. We're going to end up getting some dude that's going to piss me off. I already know. I know it. And I appreciate the super chat, man. How about the shenanigans, son? Oh, Shanahan's son, Kyle Shanahan. We need an offensive type guru. We don't utilize our talent. Right, man, I agree with you. Wasn't Shanahan in Atlanta for a minute, dude? And no, I know. If it's, I don't want to see that happen. Crosby overrated by the nation. Everybody's overrated by the damn nation. But Crosby, dude, Crosby's numbers are there. And if you look at the plays and why he's so pissed off right now, he has a legitimate beef with the refs and the NFL. It's just a matter of him not getting some of these calls that he should definitely. There was one play, dude, where he was literally, the dude was pulling his face mask, turning his head sideways, and just trying ripping at his helmet, and he didn't get the damn call on that. It's kind of shit like that. And I'll tell you, like, that frustrates a player to the point to where they stop trying as hard because they know that shit's not going to end up happening. Scott McCallahan is scouting businesses and is sober and is one of the best talent evaluators. How about him for a GM? I honestly don't know that name. I'm not going to lie to you. Chiefs are going to lose. Dude, what is the score to that game? Do any of you guys, is that game still going? I wanted to check it out, but I wanted to do this. My plan would be to go in for Harbaugh or Sweeney. a lot of you guys are really down for Harbaugh. Sweeney's, I've seen his name showing around ever since him and Mark Davis are hanging out. Give them a deal they can't refuse. Carr, keep Carr, fix the offensive lines, define Devontae Adams, we're good. If you went out there and you legitimately took, like, say we got Harbaugh, and everybody was like, oh man, we got Harbaugh, and I know there's a few Raider YouTubers out there that'd be happy as shit about that, and Harbaugh came in and he's like, I'm keeping Carr, and I'm going to go out there and I'm going to get us a veteran right tackle, I'm going to get us a veteran guard, and I'm going to stack this offensive side of the ball. I really think like he would have that power, especially if he brought in a new offensive coordinator to where this defense would look completely damn different. But no, man. Derek Carr in the pocket quarterback is a dying thing in the NFL. And there are very few, like Brady's one of the few pocket passers left. And that dude is on a different level than every other pocket passer in the damn league. So you can't compare anything to him. That dude demands complete control over everything and he gets it. Derek Carr is not at that level. Something happened with our radio announcer, Mark, had fired him for some bull. Yeah, I saw that too. When all that was going on. Crosby gets held ever since he was a rookie. But no, yeah, dude, it's insane how bad that is. Crosby, a 5'8" sack guy, he is right now, dude. But if you let him get through and you give him some of these calls, the Raiders start winning some of these games. It was against the Chargers, which is the last game of 2017. Well, thank you, Rick. That is 100% right. I appreciate that. What's up with Will Compton? Older what? Will Compton is one of those moves where he knew this, kind of knew the system. He kind of been there through the first offseason, and I don't know, he was a team captain, he was a leader, he was a Raider guy. Like, we needed him for special teams. We needed him to fill that void as far as, because we had to move Diablo up. He's somebody that can come in and do that. He's not going to be on this team next season, dude. There's no chance of that. Tied game, oh, thank you. 1921 Chiefs. Tied at 21 now. All right, man, I'm going to go finish off that game just because I really want to see who ends up winning it. I really appreciate you guys all coming out, man. I really love doing these live shows. I'm sorry I've not had time to do them as much lately, but my work schedule has been shit. But I'm off tomorrow, so I figured I'd go out and bust one out. So thank you all very much. Until the next time, guys, I'm Son Joku. We will see you guys later.